Yesterday Bitcoin was pumping again above the $68,000, but now we are also seeing a huge warning unfolding for Bitcoin on the charts. We are running into big resistance on the daily time frame, so this is something very important to look at. In this video I'm going to tell you what is going to be next for Bitcoin and what we can expect for Bitcoin in the coming days. There's a lot of interesting data coming into the markets, and also the Ethereum and the Bitcoin ETFs are showing very interesting price action. I'm also going to talk about the two altcoins, Dogecoin and XRP, but about that later in the video. So watch this video all the way to the end, don't forget to slap up that like button, and let's dive right into the charts. As I was saying, yesterday we saw a nice bump above the $68,000, and currently we are running into this big resistance, and that is around the $68,000, just like I've been telling you about on my socials. And we pumped through the next big resistance of $66,000, and now the next big resistance is a little bit too strong, so we are seeing a little bit of a rejection already. So Bitcoin could come back to this huge previous resistance level to turn it into support around the $66,000, or we can also fall back below this previous resistance area to test this as support, because this hasn't been tested after we saw a beautiful pump above it, and that will be around the $64,000. So for now we could potentially see a little bit of a retracement back to the $66,000, and then another attempt to break through the $68,000. And if Bitcoin is going to break above this resistance, the next big resistance will be around the $72,000. So this is an insane target, of course, because this will be the next big resistance on the daily time frame, as we can see, and this would be of course very interesting to see in the coming weeks. And looking at this chart with these horizontal resistance areas, we can see Bitcoin pump through this resistance area and is coming now to this next big resistance, which also was caused by this previous high. So of course Bitcoin is in this uptrend on the daily time frame, and we want to gain this previous high in order to become a little bit more bullish. So if we're going to gain this previous high, retest it as support, then this next big resistance on the horizontal time frame will be the next big resistance, and it will be around the 71.5k. So if Bitcoin is coming back to this level, this is of course very interesting price action, and then the way to the all-time high is very close. So if we're coming back to this huge resistance area, I'm also going to take a little bit of profits, because I think this area will be acting as strong resistance. And if we're going to see something, a price action similar like this, I think we will see a huge rejection and then a retracement back to this level to test it as support again. So if we're coming back to the $72,000, I'm going to take a little bit of profits. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETF saw another very bullish day. We saw a total inflow of $458.5 million, and especially BlackRock was buying like crazy. They bought for $393 million, so this is insane of course. And we are now seeing a total cumulative inflow of more than $20 billion, just like I've been telling you about. And now we're seeing this spike to the top side, just I've been telling you about. And we're now coming above the $20 billion target, so this is of course very bullish. And now the next big target will be the $25 billion. So this week has been very strong for the Bitcoin ETFs. So let's see if we can see another 2 days of very bullish inflows in this week. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum inflows, we can see that we're having an inflow of $24 million. So this is very bullish to see of course. And of course BlackRock is buying, Fidelity is buying, and also Van Eck is buying. So this is looking very bullish. And let's see if Ethereum can also continue these bullish inflows this week. And on the daily time frame, we can also see this huge broadening wedge for Bitcoin. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and currently we are back at this huge resistance area. So this is a very interesting place for me to take profits. And I took profits around the $68,000, just like I've been telling you on my socials. And now we could potentially see a little bit of a retracement back to the downside. But of course we want to see it break to the top side, a retest of this previous resistance to turn it into support. And if we're going to test this resistance as support, I'm very interested in buying more Bitcoin, and then we can aim for higher targets. And then the top side of the formation will be the breaker target, and that will be confluent with the previous all-time high. So if we're going to see another attempt of Bitcoin breaking through this huge resistance area, then we will see a lot of bullish price action, and we will see some exponential moves for Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin is going to see a rejection from this level and we're going to still see a new higher low, then we can just aim for a higher high, because we're still in this uptrend, and then we can see an attempt to break out to the top side of this huge broadening wedge formation. And as we can see, we are still in a big uptrend for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. And after this huge downtrend, we can now see a huge trend reversal occurring. So we've been in this uptrend since this huge low at the beginning of August. And now we are still in this uptrend, and we created a new higher high after this previous high. So this is looking very bullish. So of course we could potentially see a higher low attempt from here, and then we can maybe see a little bit of a retracement back to this huge resistance area to turn it into support, and that would of course be very bullish to come back to this level and then create a higher low, because then we are still in this uptrend, and after a higher low we want to also create a new higher high, and that of course will be very bullish, and then we will just see a continuation of the bullish uptrend, and then this could be a very interesting place for a huge resistance area. And that of course could be the new higher high region. So for now Bitcoin is at the $67,000. So let's see what we can see today. Are we going to see a retracement back, or are we going to see a pump above this huge previous high? And the price of Bitcoin may be pumping because of the poly market poll, because Trump is now leading a 17% lead on Harris, and this of course could be very bullish for the price of Bitcoin and the markets in general. And investors are more likely to vote for Trump, and they want to have Trump as president, and this could be the reason that Bitcoin and the stock market are pumping. So in 19 days we will see the next election, and this could have a very interesting price effect on the price of Bitcoin and stocks. And this event could also create a lot of volatility, so be prepared for huge volatility, and if Trump becomes president we could see a huge pump for Bitcoin. And on the weekly time frame we can now see that this huge bull flag formation is trying to break out to the top side, and if we're going to see a break of this huge resistance area, then we will see a huge exponential move for Bitcoin. So let's see if we're going to see a close of this huge weekly candle above this huge resistance area, because if we're going to see a close above this area, then we can confirm the breakout, and then we can maybe see a retracement back to the resistance to turn it into support, and from there we can aim for higher highs, and of course we can potentially also aim for a new all-time high, because if we're going to break out, then the previous all-time high is very close, and I think we will see such a move just like from the bear market lows. And on November 7th, we also have a next FOMC meeting, and there's now a 92% that we are going to see a 25 basis point rate cut. So this could also be very bullish for the markets. So in 21 days, the next FOMC meeting takes place, and that will be shortly after the presidential elections. So this could also be a very volatile week for Bitcoin and the stock market. And this is all happening in November, so prepare yourself for a huge volatility. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Dogecoin. Dogecoin was in this huge falling wedge formation to the downside on the daily time frame, and we can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the low side as support. And these huge horizontal levels were coming into play, and we came back to this huge support level, and every time we touched this level we saw a nice spike to the top side, just like we saw earlier a couple weeks ago. We saw a beautiful breakout of this falling wedge formation, and Dogecoin came back to this huge horizontal level which acted as resistance, and we saw a huge rejection from this level. So now we're seeing another attempt, but again this huge resistance area is a little bit too strong for now, so a rejection is what we're seeing right now. And let's see if Dogecoin can make another attempt to break it to the top side, retest the resistance as support, and from there we can aim for higher targets. And the falling wedge has still a breakout target of the top side of the formation, and that will be around the 20 cents. So from here, this could also be a very interesting trade to make for Dogecoin. So first I want to see a gain of this resistance area, and if we're going to retest it as support, I'm much interested in longing the market for Doge, and then I'm going to aim for high targets. And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is XRP. XRP is going to be in this price squeeze, and we can see on the top side a huge resistance coming into play, and we also can see this huge upward sloping support area, and we are seeing a nice support area is unfolding, and we are also seeing a bounce to the top side. So let's see if XRP can come back to this huge top side resistance, and eventually we want to see this price getting squeezed into this apex, and that we're going to see a breakout to the top side of course, and that will be very bullish. And if we then have a look at the weekly time frame, we saw a couple weeks ago a huge fake out of this huge consolidation formation on the weekly time frame, and we are now already for 150 weeks inside of this consolidation, so this is huge of course. and eventually this price of XRP is getting squeezed into this apex, and we are still at the top side of this huge consolidation formation. So let's see if XRP can break bullish, retest the resistance as support, and then see some exponential moves. And then the breakout target will be confluent with the top side of the formation, and that's also confluent with a lot of resistance as we can see here, and that will be around the 93 cents. So this could be a very interesting trade for XRP to make if we're going to see a break to the top side. So please give a like if you find the video useful. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.